Listen to your breath.
Hunger.
Tessa assured Daniel that Lindsay would be just another minute or two, that she was wrapping up a call. She asked if he was sure he didn't want coffee or water. He assured her that he was fine. She left him alone. He pulled his BlackBerry from a pocket and worked the trackball with his thumb, scrolling through email subject lines absently, hoping the list would refresh to show him something new, something interesting. He put the phone away. He studied the poster framed behind glass on the wall opposite him, the icicles that took the look of gun barrels pointing downward from the eaves of a suburban house. The family, standing together on the steps, forcing smiles. He noticed for the first time that the frozen puddles along the walkway that led to the house doubled as bullet holes, that the reflected sunset played as subliminal blood streaks. He wondered how much of that had been at Lindsay's direction and how much had been the independent work of an art department. From beyond the upholstered wall that separated him from the office proper, 3 different voices reached him answering phones. One of them, of course, was Tessa. A chirping tone would stop abruptly, and she would say, "Lindsay Grundmann's office, this is Tess." One of them he knew to be the young black man he had seen walking through a few minutes earlier with a freshly refilled coffee mug emblazoned with the logo title of Served Cold, the show Daniel's sister had created and now executive produced. When he answered the phone, it was with a slightly mumbled, "Family dynamic, how should I direct your call?" The third voice was a female whom Daniel had not yet seen. She answered, "This is Claudia," her inflection somehow implying that she was quite certain her number had been dialed by mistake. While Tessa generally informed people that she's on with the network and will have to return, the young man who served as general reception for the production company almost never said anything beyond, "How should I direct your call?" Claudia provided answers to questions that Daniel could begin to guess at, based on the part of the conversations he could hear. She said things like, "Yeah, the music cues for that are already up on the wiki. If you can't find the file by EP number, try date," or, "No, it needs to be the full bottle show, the whole thing." She said, "Blowing up the boat in episode 4 leaves us way too tight for locations that week." After a while, Daniel went around the upholstered wall and said, "You know what, Tess? Tell her I'll call her tomorrow. We can talk by phone." "Oh, no, don't go. I know she was looking forward to... We were scheduled for 1:30. She's just running a little bit behind. I'm sure she'll be off soon." "I have other things scheduled this afternoon," Daniel lied. I don't know if you understand how busy. From beyond the closed door, just beyond Tess's desk, Lindsay shouted, "Just bring him in, Tess. I'll deal with him." Tess shrugged a "you see" at Daniel and opened Lindsay's door, allowing him in. She hovered in the doorway as he stood awkwardly for a moment. Lindsay held up a finger as she said into her Bluetooth, "I think it's a great idea. Dark is good. Dark is real." She listened to the voice that Daniel could not hear and moved her hand like the mouth of a puppet, telling him that the person at the other end was talking and talking and talking and boring. Daniel chuckled. "Look, I think I got the gist of this, and I can make sure we start to seed the season 3 subplot as we script these last 4 episodes for the year. Look, I got someone in my office who's been waiting. I'm starting to feel like I'm being rude." She closed her eyes for a moment and rocked her head back and forth, listening to meaningless sign-off chatter. "Okay, you two, talk Tuesday." She pushed a button on her phone, took out the earpiece, and tossed it to her desk. She blew out air between her lips to release the emotional life that had come with the phone call and turned to Daniel. "Sit down. Did Tess offer you something to drink?" "Yes." Lindsay threw Tess a New Yorker's nod, up first, then back to neutral, and Tess left, closing the door. "I'm sorry that took so long." "Okay. But I wish you wouldn't do that to Tess." "What did I do to Tess?" "You know, the whole I'm her brother power play." "I didn't do that." "You know what I mean. I'm very important. I have places to go, things to do. I can't wait 10 minutes for my sister to get off the phone." 45. "What?" "We were supposed to meet at 1:30. "Oh, shit." "Yeah." "Well, I said I was sorry. I don't know what you expect me to do about it." "I said it was okay." "It was the network." "Yes." "TNT." "Yes, I know what network you're on." "I'm just saying. Also, it's on the poster in your waiting area. And, you know, the building." "Okay." And the visitor's badge they made me wear at the front desk. Are you just going to keep listing places that the network logo shows up? I'm just saying. Because really, you can just type up that list and email it to me later. All right. I'll read it carefully, with rapt attention. Daniel sat down. He hoped that his sister did not hear the slight gurgle that came from his stomach. You saw Mom and Dad, Lindsay chuckled. Yeah, they really don't change much. Mom called to tell me I should get in touch with you. Apparently you're a bigwig and might be able to help me get a job. She said that? Yeah. Jesus, I'm sorry she does that to you. Yeah. They sat for a minute with that hanging in the room. I don't remember what we're supposed to be meeting about. Seriously? Sorry. No, I mean, I remember we put it on the calendar and I was looking forward to seeing you, but I asked you to look at my spec. Right! I did! I read the whole thing! The whole thing? Yeah, there's some nice work there. You really got the feel of the show, the pacing, the character dialogue is dead on. Nice job. Daniel didn't know what to do with that. He felt he should thank her for the compliment, but he hadn't sent her the spec script in hope of flattery. Lindsay didn't seem to notice the pause. Of course, a lot of it built from the season 1 storyline, so the show's really moved on from there. Like, I remember at one point you have Mac, the janitor, walk by in the background of a scene in the auditorium, and he got killed off 3 episodes ago now. Yeah. When I originally sent it to you, you were only halfway through the first season. Right. Wow. I'm sorry it took me so long to get to it. Okay. But I'm telling you, it's really good. I could do an update. The standalone story holds together even if we have to change some of the timeline to fit into the current arc. I don't think you need to. If you're going to use it as a sample for agents or whatever, you should just put in a first page that says where it falls in the first season so they don't think you're not aware of the contiguous nature of the show. I think you should send it out. Send it out. Yeah, why not? To agents. Yeah. Well, what am I missing? When I asked you if I could send in a spec for the show, you said I would have to send it through an agent. Yeah, for legal reasons, you said. Sure, they're very strict about that. So, I have an agent. I had my agent send it to you. Well, that's not... Didn't it come from... She fumbled through a pile of scripts and pulled his out from the stack to look at the cover page. It came from Wits End Talent Agency, Daniel. Yes, Louis Gretsch is my agent there. They do comedy booking and stuff for you, right? Yes, they also send out my writing when I need them to. Well, sure, but Daniel, they're not a proper literary agent. You know that, right? Yeah, but they can send stuff out for me, so it's not coming in unsolicited or whatever. Right, yeah, that's why I was able to read it. But nobody's going to take you seriously as a television writer if you have some little comedy agent sending out your stuff. You need to have an actual literary agent if you want to get staff jobs or what have you. You remember when you were living in that little studio apartment and you used to come over to my place to smoke my grass and watch TV in the air conditioning? Lindsay chuckled easily. I do. We've come a long way, haven't we, kiddo? I used to let you stay there when I was on the road. Yeah, geez. I was so scared all the time back then. I had no idea what I was doing. Right. Yeah. Lindsay soaked in the soft nostalgia of familial history. I got back from Austin, and you had read every spec script I had ever written. You said it was like a crash course in television writing, and 3 weeks later you handed me the first draft of your first spec script. El Paso, Lindsay said. No, it was Full House. No, you weren't in Austin, you were in El Paso. You brought me a t-shirt from the comic strip. Right. That was the script that got me in at William Morris. Well, what? I talked you through a pretty solid rewrite of the thing. What? I mean, you'd written it with the act break structured like 1970s primetime and ran it 8 pages long. There were 2 whole scenes that had nothing to do with the storyline. Right. Wow. That script really stuck with you. Also, I gave you a lot of joke punch-up. Wait, are you trying to take credit for the script that got me my first agent? No, that's not what I'm saying. Because it's not like I didn't have to write 3 more spec scripts after that before I got my first job. I'm not saying that, Linz. That's not what I'm... Never mind. Let's just go, okay? Forget it. There was a while there that I thought I was never going to get anywhere with the writing. Yeah, 8, 9 whole months before that first job. Right? And then it would be another 3 before I got my first episode on. Jesus, I was so angry with you. What? You were off doing stand-up, making a living, traveling around, and I was stuck in that little apartment feeling like a talentless fraud. I don't know how you do it, kiddo. Wait, what? Look, I've been trying not to say it, but I don't know why you'd want to get into this business at all. I mean, your scripts are great. I've always said that. You match the voice of every show I've ever seen you do a spec for, but this place is a fucking formula factory, you know? I'm getting notes from the network that are all about how they want me to make my show more like some other show that they just heard got good ratings, while over there some exec is telling their showrunner that they have to make their show more like mine. It's like some incestuous, ridiculous imitation festival. If I could do what you do, I'd be doing El Paso and Austin and Tempe and Seattle and wherever and never set foot in this stupid town again. I mean, and the money's great, but there's just nothing real in it, you know? Oh, right. Sorry. What do you mean? I forgot you saw Mom and Dad recently. Lindsay made a snorting noise that made Daniel want to comfort her. Did she give you a complex mathematical proof that she's not an alcoholic? Several. At one point, she told me that she knows she's not an alcoholic because she only has 2 drinks a night. One more than that, and she passes out in the bathroom. Christ. It wasn't until the flight home that I thought I should have said, so you're not an alcoholic because every night you only drink yourself 2/3 of the way to a blackout? Daniel shook his head. Did she only have 2? 3, but the first one didn't count or something. They sat with that for a moment, and then Daniel said, Look, I'm sorry if I got weird there for a minute. What? When? Never mind, let's just go. You said that before. Where are we going? Daniel tilted his head to the side, confused, and asked, Lunch? Oh, were we supposed to be having lunch? Yeah, we're supposed to have lunch and talk about the script I wrote for your show. Oh, she winced, at 1:30. I just had a whole salad while I was on the phone with the network. Oh, yeah, I was thinking lunch. You wouldn't believe how busy it gets. Yeah. Oh, next time we'll do lunch, I promise, and I'll buy. She pushed a button on her phone and held the Bluetooth near her face without putting it in her ear. She said, Tess, could you bring me the list of calls I need to return? Daniel stood. He moved toward the door, and as he reached for it, Tess opened it, forcing him to step back awkwardly. She dropped a sheet of paper on Lindsay's desk and moved to step through the door behind Daniel and close it. Daniel got halfway across the waiting area before going back to Tess's cubicle. He held out his parking ticket for her to stamp. He said, I almost forgot. I need validation. Listen to your breath.